Oilers post-game after a 6-4 loss in Brooks to the Bandits, 6-4 with an empty netter, and I'm pleased to be joined by Oilers assistant coach Reed Natowich. And Reed, we could probably talk about that game for an hour plus. There was a lot that went on over the course of that game, but just in a general sense, when you look at your team putting up 44 shots on the number one team in the AJHL, not folding when they were down 4-1, making this one interesting right down to the final minute, is it fair to say, not to be too much of a silver lining guy, that there's a lot for this squad to be proud of in terms of what they brought out here tonight?
Yeah, like a lot of good games. I think you look at the score against these guys. 100% we put up, a substantial amount of shots. But like this is a team where you give up 6 against them. It's going to be a tough night to win. So I think just regards as well as guys did play, it's a really kind of cool learning game for these guys where it's like you can be consistent, you can have positive shifts, but it's that one play off or the one mistake off that ends up in your back of the net. When you're competing against a team such as Brooks, you just got to make sure that you're doing your due diligence and it's consistent, right? Like that's one area we need to make sure we play them again, that score gets down.
One thing too, though, in terms of the offensive production tonight, the depth seemed to shine quite a bit as well, which I didn't expect considering the caliber of guys you didn't have here tonight. The fact you get 2 big goals from Ryan Newman, a big one from Jackson Rowland on a very alert play. Again, I know I'm focusing very much on the offensive side, whereas you guys as coaches are more looking at what happens away from the puck. But to have those guys chip in, that's got to be a positive sign moving forward.
Well, if you look at that line, with regards to Rowland, Newman, and then Tibbles, like I thought in terms of, obviously production, they were very well. But then like defensively too, with regards to their structure, their heaviness on the forecheck, like those are some young guys who don't have a ton of experience playing against a team like Brooks, who did a really good job tonight.
I got to ask you just about the overall feel on the bench in that third period, because it was easy after you guys were down 4-1 for things to kind of deflate and just kind of go through the motions until the game came to an end. It wasn't that way at all, and there was a very tangible energy in the building. I think even these Brooks fans would tell you this was a very different type of game from what they've seen a lot of other teams come into this building and put up against this Brooks squad. What was the feeling like on the bench, and how much, even though you don't come away with the win tonight, is that something you can build on in terms of lessons that can be applied to the non-Brooks games as well, because you won't play these guys again until February?
Well, that was like our pre-scout this morning with regards, like you look at a lot of these games and these teams, and that's one thing that you cannot do playing these guys is just is give up and let the game get out, right? Like, and that's where those scores start to get out of hand. So I think our mindset heading into the game, no matter what the outcome, we had our kind of goals and objectives, and we just needed to accomplish it. Doesn't matter if we're up a goal, down a goal, any of those situations, we just need to be mindful. And you're right, like this is another good one, right? We have a busy week next week, and then a busy month, to be honest with you here, where the intensity, the intangibles at which we brought tonight, we need to improve on, get better, but it's definitely a step in the right direction.
One final thing for you on the game tonight. I got to ask you quickly about the penalty kill, because it's been such a great highlight for the team so far this year. Tonight, Brooks breaks through against your PK, and it was clearly the difference in the game. Regardless of thoughts on the calls, you knew you were going to be on the PK at least a few times over the course of this game. Were there good lessons to be learned tonight in terms of how you tighten up against teams that break through regularly against penalty kills like that Brooks power play?
Yeah, it's all desperation, right? Like, and if you look, and it started with the tone setting off of that first power play goal that they got, where we just weren't aggressive enough at getting to the puck and aggressive enough at getting back to the net. So that's where you talk about it against high octane teams like this. It's those second, third efforts, the desperation that we just need to make sure that we're dialed for.
Final thing for you, big keys for Tuesday night against Camrose. You guys are going to be playing a lot of games. You got that 3-3 next weekend, but Camrose presents a big opportunity for you guys to get back in that win column before heading on the road once again.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing with that one, home game here, we just need to manage it. Like they've done some movements with regards to the deadline here, where they have some couple new pieces. We'll see them for the first time, and we'll make sure that we give them a game here.
All right, Reed, thanks so much for making the time as always. Good luck Tuesday night.
Thanks, King.